Hello and welcome to Gradient's weekly roundup of key economic and business developments in Sri Lanka for the week ending 23rd December 2022. I'm Nishana Figuera and here are the top stories for this week. Sri Lanka likely to add most favored creditor clause to debt negotiations. Paris Club yet to start work on a creditor committee for Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka now able to settle payments to India in Indian rupees. Plots at Port City to be sold to establish bunkering facility. We will also briefly look at other notable news and wrap up with the capital markets update. In our main story this week, Bloomberg, citing sources, reports that Sri Lanka is considering using a most favored creditor clause to fast-track external debt negotiations. This is to mitigate doubts among other creditors that China could be offered better terms. This means that same terms are extended to all creditors, even if an agreement with them has been sealed before a deal is reached with China. It may be the first time that such a clause is used in debt restructuring involving China. Nikkei Asia reported that the Paris Club is yet to start work on a creditor committee for Sri Lanka to assist in the country's debt restructuring process. Those with the knowledge of the Paris Club's workings had told Nikkei Asia that progress over the Sri Lanka question remains clouded. This follows Hindustan Times reporting in early December that the Paris Club is proposing a 10-year moratorium on Sri Lankan debt and another 15 years of debt restructuring. Sri Lanka will now be able to settle payments to India in Indian rupees instead of dollars. This follows India's central bank approving banks to open 5 Vostro accounts for trade with Sri Lanka. India also afforded this facility to Russia and the Mauritius. Sri Lanka's imports from India amounts to approximately $4.8 billion each year. Given the island nation's balance of payments crisis, settling payments in Indian rupees is a significant benefit. According to Nimal Siripala de Silva, Minister of Ports, Shipping and Aviation, Sri Lanka will sell 4 plots of land at the Colombo Port City to establish a bunkering facility. He added that expressions of interest have also been called to develop an aviation fuel storage facility. Meanwhile, China Harbour Engineering signed a $1.3 billion agreement with Saudi Arabia-based Ajlan Brothers Holdings to develop several projects at the Colombo Port City. Further, 3 visa categories were introduced for those engaging in economic activities at the landmark development site, including being entitled to a visa for 10 years for investments of $500,000 or more. The Sunday Times reports that the government is to submit new electricity tariff rates to the cabinet in January, bypassing the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka. The average selling price has been set at 42 rupees a unit, with the aim of relieving the burden on low-income families. Previously, the Ceylon Electricity Board proposed a tariff hike to increase its revenue to 800 million rupees. However, the PUCSL only granted permission to raise tariffs to gain a revenue of 500 million rupees. The SLTDA reported that 39,193 tourists arrived in the country during the first 2 weeks of December. To date, just over 658,000 visitors have traveled to Sri Lanka. Daily arrivals increased to 2,322. Sri Lanka had aimed to attract 800,000 international visitors this year. And now let's take a look at the weekly movement of the All-Share Price Index and the S&P SL20 Index at the Colombo Stock Exchange. At the Treasury bill auction held on Wednesday, yields on all maturities fell for the second consecutive week. Of the 144 billion rupees worth of bids, about 85 billion rupees were accepted. Here's how the rupee performed against the dollar this week. In other market news, Sri Lanka Finance PLC is to amalgamate with Cambridge Finance Limited. Sri Lanka Finance will be the surviving entity, and the process is expected to be completed by the 31st of March next year. And that's a wrap for this week. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel at the link below for more updates on economic and business developments in Sri Lanka. Until we see you again in the new year, happy holidays.